Hey guys, it's Horsey Steph and I am back with another Horse Trainer Reacts to Running Free. In the last segment, Taylor did realize that Jasmine was missing and blames her ex-boyfriend for letting him out. I still think that she jumped to a conclusion there, but she happens to be right, so we'll go with she just knows him really well. And they didn't find her right away, so we're gonna go ahead and see how that search goes as they're a little bit more structured in their search and kind of look over the whole property and see where that horse could have been and go from there. If you guys could go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe for future videos, that would help me out a ton. And let's go ahead and jump right in.
Jasmine! Come here, girl!
I'm surprised they're calling for her like she's gonna come to her name. I mean, some horses might do that, but I would say the overwhelming majority do not come to their name like a dog. I guess it depends on whether you've taught them that or not. Certainly I have some that will come. I wouldn't think this one would come though, because they say she hates everyone. So I don't know why she would come.
She's gotta be around here somewhere.
Could have gotten far.
I think they might actually be calling to make themselves feel better about the fact that she is missing.
I've been thinking, maybe we should just let the past be the past and focus on the now.
That's a great idea. Focus on the now. Stop living in the past. Stop living in the past about what happened with your ex-boyfriend because he's a crummy person, doesn't deserve the time. Stop living in the past with your dad. Start actually forming a new bond. I'm glad she's finally gotten to that conclusion because I wish she'd gotten there a lot earlier.
You forgive me, please. Don't forget.
But I must say I can see a difference.
See, that's why you don't forget the past. Forgive, don't forget. I mean, you all learn lessons from it. He's a different man than he was when he walked out. You remember that he walked out. You remember back then he wasn't trustworthy, but you can look at him now, see he's a different guy and way more reliable and give him a new chance. And that's really what I mean when I say let go of the past. I don't mean forget that it ever happened, because then you're destined to create the same mistakes over and over again. I just mean move on from it. You don't need to live in it all the time.
Let's start, you and me, right here, right now.
That's where you should start every single moment of every single day.
And there's a storm coming in, so let's get going, huh?
All right, a storm coming in does give some reason to want to be in a little hurry and actually find the horse. It's the first time I've heard any reason why it's important to kind of do now versus when you're organized and ready. Oh, he's running looking for the horse. It's a lot of effort, and I think he's going to tire out real fast.
Sorry, it's getting late. We gotta go home. We gotta get back.
She deserves to be searched for. She deserves it.
I do see Taylor's point of view. She doesn't want to go home when they haven't found the horse yet. She wants to stay out until they find the horse. I think honestly a better tactic would be to organize a real search party, get more people to help, come out in the morning and just really tackle it with a bunch more people where their chances of finding her are a lot higher. Honestly, they're not going to find her in the dark anyway. It's near impossible.
I don't think we're gonna make it. Look, I love you so much.
I don't know that saving the recording that her mom made as she knew she was gonna die was worth it very much. I think it just encourages them to live in the past and just constantly opens up that wound of mourning. Obviously, I'm not them. I'm not in this exact situation, so I could be wrong, but I don't think that is really bringing value to their lives right now. Although I can certainly see people's desire to hang on to things and why they might want to do that.
Jasmine!
And I think her attachment to Jasmine is partly that she has nobody else that she really feels connects with her like her mom did. And Jasmine is like something she really connects to.
You found her. You didn't have to do that for me.
And again, the fact that it's so evident that he stayed out all night looking for Jasmine, for her, not for Jasmine, because Jasmine would have been fine. That was really sweet, though. He's a nice guy.
I think I'm gonna compete in the next show.
All right, so she has decided to compete in the next show. I was wondering when they were gonna get back to that, because they mentioned it a while ago and we saw absolutely nothing and really haven't seen her do anything in the terms of like formal riding or training. I haven't seen anyone do that actually, which is crazy to me considering they own a riding academy. Oh, I'm glad she's gonna do the competition. I always thought that was a really good idea for her. And I'm curious how she does, considering she has very little practice. Hopefully she really gets to work on that now.
Why didn't you call me back? I've left you like 10 messages.
You're not welcome here.
Taylor, what about California?
And now he's showing up to talk to her since letting the horse out didn't get her to come back. So now he's gonna try to beg her to come back. Luckily she's turning him away because does not deserve her time.
Taylor, come with me now. Now, Taylor.
The fact that he started off begging her to come and then started attacking and screaming about how she needed to come now, like, it just goes to show how little he cares about her and how desperate he is to have her back just to complete this credit card scam he needs her for. And, you know, he has no chance of getting her back. Nobody that he's talking to right now has any respect for him or any desire for her to make up with him. They all just want him to leave.
You're too scared, Taylor. You need me.
No, she doesn't need you. You need her because you are a horrible criminal and you need poor, helpless people to help you. Oh, and we're already at the competition. Wow, so I guess they didn't want to show her practicing. Again, I'm going to suspect this actor doesn't have a lot of riding experience, and they're probably going to use a stunt double for a lot of the riding in this kind of competition. And I don't think that they had access to a lot of riders in this show because they just didn't take the time to include any of them. I wouldn't think that would be too hard. I feel like every equestrian wants to be on TV, so I wouldn't think it would be so hard to get some people to come ride the horses that are already at this facility they're filming at. But I guess they didn't want to do that, and they're really not going to show very much riding in this film at all.
Taylor, did I miss anything? No. You're here just in time.
I'm glad her aunt's come to support her at this show. I know that means a lot to her. Her aunt is a big part of her life since she basically raised her, and she hasn't seen her for a few months, and I'm sure she is just so glad to see her and also so happy to have her supporting her at this show.
I think I'm gonna stay here.
I don't think the aunt was expecting that at all, and I'm not sure she's actually happy about that. She really worked to get her life on track while Taylor was gone, and she got a new place, got her kind of finances sorted out, it sounds like, so that she could be ready for Taylor to come back, and now Taylor's saying she doesn't want to come back. I think that is kind of a stab in the heart for the aunt, although I know she's going to be supportive and encourage Taylor to do anything she wants to do. And I do think, like, Taylor's not trading her aunt for her dad. I just think she's lived with her aunt for a long time, and she's really starting to get to know her dad, and she doesn't want to move away yet because she doesn't really have the bond she wants with him yet. So I'm sure that she will still stay in touch with her aunt, and, you know, she's almost 18, so I suspect she's going to move out on her own anyway pretty soon. So probably won't move back in with her aunt, but if she were younger, I could easily see her spending a few more months with her father and then moving in with her aunt for a bit and just kind of going between the two and not having to make that choice of, I like one of you better, because they just provide two very different things. I do think the environment at her dad's is a little better for her because she's away from Blake. She's away from that kind of crowd she was in with her aunt. So I do think that is a good thing to kind of stay away from a bit. Alright, so it looks like she is competing in some sort of flat class as everybody is out on the rail and all kind of doing that walk, trot, canter. And I wouldn't say that this rider, I do suspect this is a stunt double, is doing a poor job. It seems very level appropriate for kind of a green rider doing the maybe like outreach, walk, trot, canter sort of classes. I don't know what kind of show this is. This could be a 4-H show, in which case, again, seems pretty appropriate. It does look a little fancier than what I would expect to see at a 4-H show. This seems much more like some sort of hunter-jumper show, either a schooling show or a rated show with an outreach section. And she seems like an advanced beginner, which is what I would expect to see in this section. And now she's doing cross rails. You can see how she has a really long stirrup, and she's not really folding over her fences. She's more flopping over her fences. Again, I think she is very level appropriate for just getting into the Crossrails, which is a fantastic accomplishment considering where she started. Obviously, she has a long way to go to be what I would consider really solid at Crossrails, and then, you know, solid enough to move up to something bigger. But I don't have anything really to say in terms of her riding. Nobody is making her out to be an advanced rider, and she's riding like a advanced beginner, and she's in a level that's appropriate for that. I have students that show at these levels all the time that are similar riders, and again, it's fine. They're not pushing her to do things that she's not capable of doing, and that's really all I worry about. It is interesting that they have all the other horses out on the rail while everyone goes and does these Crossrails. It makes you wonder if this is some sort of hunter hack class where you do a flat portion and then you go to a jump portion and then you're judged on both of those together. That would be my best guess. I really don't see classes like that, but I do remember doing some of them as a child. So they certainly do exist, even though none of the shows I go to now have something like that. But that is probably what's happening right now, just at a walk, trot, canter, crossrail level. All right, she's looking super nervous, has her hands, you know, shaking and holding, and has a driving rein. I'm not sure why they're making such a point of showing how nervous she is all of a sudden when everything has gone fine so far and she's doing what seems like a very level appropriate showing right now. And now they're cutting to somebody doing like the big jumpers. I mean, not big, but, you know, real jumpers. I hope they aren't trying to pretend that was her, because if they are, I mean, I don't understand how they could make that leap. It really does seem like they're trying to pretend that was her. Super inaccurate. I do think they used this gray horse Jasmine for all of the riding portion of the show, and actually I think they probably used this same horse for everything that Jasmine was doing. And this is some sort of beginner safe, advanced beginner appropriate lesson horse type, and she's kind of an advanced beginner. So all very level appropriate. Makes a lot of sense for somebody that is still learning. But if we just saw her go over a crossrail and, you know, do okay but not do brilliantly, nobody is going to believe that that was her cantering up to probably what, like a meter fence? Would be my best guess that was like a meter fence in the jumper ring. Like, that's never going to happen. Not to mention the fact that the gray was a dark dappled gray, and this is a basically white gray. And the rider had to have been so much more competent because she properly folded and released over the fence, which Taylor didn't do over the little tiny crossrail. So would have just cut that little segment out and we would have all been a little bit happier and less confused about what they're trying to portray. It looks like she won and everyone is super happy for her. I could absolutely believe she won that kind of hunter hack is what I'm going to call it. Class in the walk, trot, canter, and crossrails. I mean, she did a good job. I think that could be a winning round at shows I go to in the outreach. Obviously, it really depends on the riders. Sometimes you get riders that are really quite advanced and maybe ready to level out of crossrails, and you get people that have just started the crossrails and are really struggling to get around the course. Just a huge variety. But that is, again, it's what you would expect to see and something that could win. It looked fine. No big errors. Just obviously things that need to be worked on. All right, and that is the end of this movie. I gotta say, so disappointed in the ending. I really expected from the very beginning of this movie to see some sort of riding, and we saw very, very little. I expected it being a riding academy and being so many horses in the intro that we would see kind of busy people riding in the background of a lot of the clips and whatnot, and we got none of that. They did have Taylor ride, and it turns out she had some riding experience, so she was able to kind of get on and just get to riding. But I would have expected to see some lessons, see her dad helping her, especially getting ready for this show. They did no training leading up to it, or at least didn't show any training leading up to it, and then just showed the shortest little clips at the show. So again, I would have expected more riding footage. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get it, but the plot was pretty good. I'm glad she got out of the situation she was in. I'm glad her aunt got her life together. Her father really seems like he has his life together, and she's bonding with him and choosing to stay with him and spend more time with him. All of that was really cool. So, I mean, a sweet ending, but I wish there were more horses. I was kind of a letdown. And if they were trying to convince us that she did that meter jumper class, I mean, that's just ludicrous, but I can only assume that's what they wanted to pretend, given that they threw that random clip in and they put somebody on a gray and went over the fence. Anyway, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this movie. Hopefully our next one is a little less disappointing to me. I really loved that Useless had so much horse riding clips. I'm going to try to find a movie that has more of them next time, because this one was really kind of a disappointment in that sense. But I hope you guys enjoyed anyway. Certainly an interesting movie regardless. Don't want to bash it too much. Just wasn't really my expectation. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.